advanced level in Premier. So I'm going to be doing my training here for you guys, and it basically can go from a first-year jeweler up through executive director too. So what we had to do is we were told to pick 2 letters out of here, or 2 characteristics of what we thought helped build our business. So the first one that we picked was belief. And under believe in the book, Andy says what you believe is so important because out of your belief comes your attitude, and your attitude determines your actions. When you believe in what you're doing, you will help proclaim it and persuade others to follow it. Belief is essential in leadership. Building a successful business takes belief and confidence. In the book, The Carpenter, and if you guys have not read that, put that on your reading list. It's an amazing book. It's called The Carpenter by John Gordon. But in there he says, when you believe, the impossible becomes possible. What you believe will become what is true. Your optimism today will determine your level of success tomorrow. Don't look at your challenges, look up and look out into the future. Don't focus on your circumstances, focus on the right beliefs that will help build your success. What you believe will become what is true. One thing I had to personally to do when I started the business and kind of worked through the years was I had to start talking to myself. It's not a nutso thing, like you really have to start talking to yourself instead of listening to yourself. Because I think a lot of times we listen to ourselves rather than talk to ourselves. You need to assume personal responsibility for developing your own personal thoughts and attitudes. If you don't, the world around you will shape them for you. If left unmanaged, your attitudes will be controlled by emotion and fear because achieving our goals takes us outside our comfort zones normally. That can also be very, very scary. Since achievement is 80% mental, if you allow your uncomfortable feelings, your scary thoughts to direct your thinking, you will personally sabotage your opportunities for success before you've even started. Ultimately, what you think and believe will establish your attitude, which affects your actions, which ultimately determines your results. You must start with what you're telling yourself, because that's going to become your reality. You must start by what you want yourself to hear, what you want yourself to know. And one of our biggest obstacles that will keep you from building the business and ultimately the life that you want will be what is inside your brain, your thoughts. Do you believe in Premier? Do you believe in yourself? Do you believe you can be successful and have a great business? I hope you each, and no matter if you just signed up for Premier yesterday, I hope you're nodding your head and saying yes. Because whether you think you can or you think you can't, you are absolutely right. Okay? I'm going to say it again because it's true. Whether you think you can or think you can't, you're right. Have you guys heard about the law of attraction? I'm a science geek, so we're going to kind of go back sciencey. But the more we focus on something, the more it shows up in our lives. Have you guys ever noticed when you're shopping for a car, and then that same car is all over the place, and you see it all the time? That's the law of attraction. It's whatever's on your mind is going to show up in your life more. The same thing happens with our thoughts. On average, we have about 60 to 90 thoughts per day, and 96% of them are the same every single day. So your thoughts are very, very powerful. And if you don't change your thinking, you become your thoughts. And your mind doesn't discriminate. So whether they're good or whether they're bad, you're gonna start to become whatever you're thinking. So you can either become your own worst enemy or your biggest cheerleader, but it's totally what you believe and what you talk to yourself about and what you say to yourself. So what you believe is what you're going to experience in life. It's very important to spend your time thinking about what you want and on what you want to accomplish, not on what you don't have, don't want, don't like, because I'm sure we could all think of someone like that, right? You always know someone that just complains about everything and they keep getting the same thing in their life because that's what they're focused on. They're focused on the negative, so they're going to keep on getting more negative. That's just kind of how it happens. You have to have, there's 2 different types of beliefs. The first one is empowering and the other one is limiting. So this is when talking to yourself really becomes important because you have to be able to retrain your thoughts to being things that are empowering ones, not limiting ones. So here's a few examples of limiting ones, and when I'm saying them, ask yourself if you ever tell yourself these things. I I don't know enough, I can't do this, who would want what I have to offer, I can't earn as much as I'd like or have to, I'm not motivated enough, I'm not as good as so-and-so. If you say any of these things to yourself, whether it's in Premier or any other part of your life, you need to stop. Start feeding yourself positive self-talk. Because successful people don't bother thinking about what they can't do. They set a goal and they figure out how to do it. Okay, so if you want to be one of those successful people that you think you're not good enough or not like, you need to start telling yourself that you are, that you can, and that you will be. There's going to be bumps in the road. There's nothing in life, business especially, that is going to be easy. You are in a business that is like any other business. It's the best business out there, but it's a business. There's going to be bumps in the road. But you have to be able to get thrown off course and come right back on. Don't let anything be big enough where it takes you off course long enough to have it crumble to the ground. And that's one of the biggest lessons in having your own business, is knowing when to detour and how to get back on track. When we have the right attitude, it makes us more excited, more productive, and everything becomes easier, and you're more attractive to other people. Not on the outside, but you attract like attracts like. So if you're a positive person, that's what you're putting out there, that's what also you're going to be receiving. I'm not going to lie though, this is very hard to do sometimes. Keeping a positive attitude is basically like aiming at a moving target. We think we have it, we've got it all together, something comes along and knocks us down. It happens all the time. We'll get that third cancellation in 2 days, we'll have that prospect that's like, yes, I'm ready to sign up, and then nope, I had something come up and I'm not doing it. The replacement exchange pile that piles up on our desk and we can't see over it, it happens to all of us. But the important thing is to maintain a positive attitude and believe that you will accomplish your goals, because again, what you believe will become your reality. Surround yourself with positive people. That is a huge, huge thing to remember and to apply into your life. Get around those people who you want to be like and have a business like. Just like the law of attraction, there is such a thing called the law of association. It says that you'll become the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. That could be a very scary thing if you think about it. You will think like they think, you'll act how they act, you'll talk how they talk, you'll even earn like they earn. So stay away from the Debbie Downers, the people that drain your energy, that drain your enthusiasm. Get around the positive people that you want to be like, because it's a like attracts like. Keep your focus forward and look up and look out into the future. I am still a work in progress. I have to work on it every single day, because having a positive attitude is not an easy thing. It really isn't. But since the beginning of our business, I've always visualized what I wanted to accomplish. The first thing, when our first rally, I remember seeing all the senior leaders get to sit down on the floor. At floor level, they have their own reserved seats. And I remember sitting way up high saying, I want to be down there one day. So that was my first visualization. Once we made it there, I looked on stage and I was like, I want to walk across stage for whatever it was. And we made it up there. Right now I'm visualizing our name. When you're an executive director, which is like the top of the company, you get your own section of the arena. Woo! That's where my brain is now. That is that lofty goals, right? So this leads us to another leadership principle in the leadership book, and it was vision. So this one was the game changer for our business. I had to do this training before we got the Vision Award, so it was kind of a cool thing. But in the ABCs of leadership, vision is defined as that which will or may come to be. It's a dream of what is possible, of what could be true. In Proverbs 29:18, it says, where there is no vision, the people perish. So what is your vision for your business? For your people, what do you believe is possible? Good leaders have a vision. Better leaders share their vision. The best leaders have others join them in working towards that vision. So what are your goals that you have for your business? I hope you have goals for your business. If you can take one thing out of training, and if you've heard me train before, I harp on this like no other. But if you can take one thing out of tonight and out of a lot of trainings, it's to have goals and write them down. It is a huge, huge thing. And that's not just business related, it's in life in general. write down your goals. It makes a big, big difference. Not having a vision is detrimental to the success not only of your business, but if you are a leader in Premier, which means that you have had another person join you in this journey, then it could also be detrimental to their success too if you don't have a dream or a vision. A large part of leading our teams to success is to be a vision caster to them. Help them see and create goals and dreams for themselves. The same thing is true to you. If you're a jeweler and you haven't sponsored anyone, be a vision caster in your life. Think of what you want to accomplish, what you can accomplish, and write it down, because sky's the limit. There is nothing in this business that you can't do. There really isn't. No matter what you think about yourself, again, start feeding yourself those positive thoughts, because there's nowhere too big that you can't go in this business. Many people come into this business with the hope and the desire to make some money. It's very easy to do, but go beyond that. Go beyond just the money part of it. We need to teach them how to get excited about the possibilities of Premier. You guys have to get really excited about the possibilities in Premier, because it's endless. The hope that we offer in this business is incredible. The first step to vision casting, and again, I've trained on this before, but I'm going to give it again just because it's really, really important. When you're trying to figure out what your goal is, the best way to try to figure that out is to write down your top 30 to 50 goals. It sounds like a lot, and it is, and it's hard. But what that helps you to do is figure out what really matters. Because you're going to write down things that are more materialistic, which is fine. Those are fun things. If you want to pay off your house, buy a new car, go shopping for some fancy pair of shoes, whatever it is, those are fun things. But then go a step beyond that and start to figure out what you really want out of long-term in your life. Do you want to be a stay-at-home mom? Do you want to be able to buy your house outright and have a summer home? Do you want to be able to volunteer and give money back to different organizations? What is your heart? Where is it? That everyone is different. Money is money, but what are you going to do with that money that will impact your life and other lives around you? That's kind of where you have to go, because that's where you start to feel it inside. And when you can link that back to your business, again, sky's the limit, and you will have so much motivation behind you to make that happen that you're just going to look back and be like, oh my goodness, what did I just do my business? Because you won't even recognize it as being the same business again. But you have to get that inside, like, burning feeling of why you are in this business. The money is great, but again, go a step beyond that where it would be different from any other person around you. Okay, I feel like I beat that one to a dead thing, but dream big, dream big. There are two main reasons that people don't reach their goals, and there's only two, so you might fall into one of these. Either, number one, their goals aren't big or compelling enough, so again, dream big. Or number two, they don't have any. Please do not be in that, don't be in that one. If you're in number one, you can dream bigger. Do not be in number two and not have any. Randy Draper, who is one of like the top in the company, once told me that if your goals don't intimidate you, they're probably insulting to God. So what you want to do is dream so big, so ridiculous, that without God they wouldn't be possible, okay? Go really, really crazy big. We have found this exercise to be kind of challenging at times. If you need help kind of digging down deeper to figure out what we call it your why in Premier is, let me know, because I'll be happy to help you. I like to make people cry. It really works well. But some of the things that if you're doing it on your own, because when you get an emotional, people are looking at you like you're nuts. When you get an emotional response tied to why you're doing the business, again, sky's the limit, but it sometimes comes with that emotional tie to it. When you're doing it though, think about some of these questions. What will it look like when you get there? So whatever your dream is, what's that gonna look like? What's success gonna feel like to you? When you look back on your life, what do you wanna be able to say? What do you want those around you that you love the most to be able to say? Who else will be impacted by your success? And the final step is to write down a day in your life 5 to 10 years from now. This is cool because now you get to, there's no limitations on what that day looks like. It can be as big and grand or as easy, like you sit down. I had us just sitting on our back deck drinking a cup of coffee in the morning with no care in the world. Dream, like whatever you want that day to look like, you dream. The importance, though, of having a vision sometimes is underestimated by people, and they think that those are for the dreamers. Like, you always hear of, oh, she's just a dreamer. I was kind of taglined as that growing up, that I was a dreamer. But when people kind of go about life saying, oh, whatever happens, happens, it's kind of what they get out of life is, kind of mediocre results. Don't be that for yourself, because you have kind of a clean slate to be able to write whatever kind of future you have. You're not stuck in, well, I grew up this way and this is what's expected of me. You guys have a clean slate to write whatever you want in the future, and you've got a business that can help you get to that point. So don't waste what you're doing in Premier on a, whatever happens, happens kind of an attitude. Once you believe and know what your emotional why is, you can feed yourself those positive thoughts, because that will be the driving force to help you achieve your goals. Having a dream and an emotional why in your business doesn't predict the future, but it's an inspiring picture of what that can be. And a lot of times, again, what we're thinking about, what we visualize, is oftentimes what happens in our life. So, dream big, and if you want to cry, call me.